Ever since Thomas the Tank Engine arrived on the island of Sodor, he had always wanted to see the world. And one day, he saw his chance. Thomas and Friends, really useful around the world.
Down the track, make waves and shapes, array and shapes, shiny, shiny paint with...
He took his eyes off the rails for just a moment. And then there was trouble. Thomas was lifted up and up and up and up. Cinders and ashes, said Thomas. No, said one of the building workers, showing Thomas his sandwich. Pastrami on rye. The builders laughed. They had never seen anything quite like Thomas, that #1 blue engine. And Thomas had never seen anything like New York City. Now that's what I call a view, said Thomas. Next station, Jan told Thomas he was very lucky because he had a dragon amongst his passengers. A dragon? He didn't much like the sound of that. Don't worry, said Jan. In China at this time of year, a dragon is a sign of good luck. When Thomas reached his final destination, he thought Jan must have been playing a trick on him. Until he saw it was a Chinese dragon. Thomas was so surprised, he let out a wheesh. Thomas knew now that the dragon had been amongst his passengers after all. Jin Yan Kuai Lei, said the passengers. Happy New Year, said Thomas. And he did feel lucky.
He's the #1 Thomas.
Thomas wasn't sure about a festival called the Day of the Dead. He thought it sounded a bit spooky. He wanted to be sure to get to Mexico City before the sun went down. But he was too late. By the time Thomas reached his final destination, the sun had set and it was already dark. And then there was trouble. Suddenly, Thomas was surrounded by skeletons. But when Thomas looked a little closer, he could see that the skeletons were just puppets. The station master had been right. Thomas had nothing to be scared of. Dia de Muertos was in full swing, and Thomas's cargo of marigolds were a colourful addition to the festivities. Fizzling fireboxes, said Thomas. This Day of the Dead festival has really come alive now. Maori tribesmen always greet visitors with displays of scary faces, just to see how brave they are. And if you think that's scary, wait till we meet the New Zealand team. Thomas was worried. He thought the Sodor rugby team were here to play a friendly game. But the Auckland rugby team didn't look very friendly at all. Then Thomas remembered what the captain had told him about greeting visitors with scary faces, to see how brave they are. Thomas decided he would join in. Welcome to New Zealand, said the captain of the Auckland rugby team. You're going to fit right in here. My name is Marshall, and this is my rotary snowplow. Fizzling fireboxes, shouted Thomas. That's a big plow. I know, said Marshall, and it was invented right here in Canada, especially for Canadian snow. Now, if you back on up a little, you can switch tracks and finish your journey on the clear line. How are you doing back there? Shouted Marshall. Fine, thanks to you, shouted Thomas. And the two really useful engines went on their way, all the way through Rocky Mountain country.